All right, I'd like to call to order the Town of East Troy Planning Commission for the month of November. I'd like the record to show that all the commissioners are present with the exception of Commissioner Seeley, who's been excused. How we work is we are on a split meeting format. Tonight is our informational meeting where we will have the applicant come up, tell us what they're looking for. The commission will ask some questions of the applicant. And then the applicant will sit down. We'll have a short discussion amongst commissioners. And then at that point, we would open it up to the audience where if the audience would like to speak in favor of the proposal, then if they would like to speak against the proposal, and if necessary, a short rebuttal from the applicant. After that, we come back in 2 weeks and make our decision, this being our decision-making meeting. Now, that being said, that's not by ordinance. So if there is a straightforward decision we feel we can make tonight, we will make it tonight. First item on the agenda is to review and approve the Plan Commission meeting minutes from October 4th. Any issues with the minutes?
No issues here. I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is, a rezone CSM. Applicant is requesting, W838 County Road L, East Troy, parcel number PET 1400007B, Gunter and Ellie Vollers. So we have heard from this before. We've got some more information in our packets tonight. I don't know if you guys feel like you want to come up and reiterate what you're looking for.
All right, hi, I'm Ellie. This is Gunnar Valters. We own the parcel. So what we are looking to do is rezone the entire parcel, R2, and then rezone the wetlands, C4.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? I mean, now that we've got our new
We have lots of maps
information.
for you.
Right.
So I've got a question. So currently you've got A2 and R1. The R1 you want R2 as well?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And why R2 instead of R1?
Because, let me get this map out quick for you. This whole parcel is in the sewer service district.
Sanitary District number
Yeah.
2?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we would like it all rezoned that way. So here's our parcel, and here's the R1 right there.
Which exhibit?
So,
This one down here.
so then would you intend to connect that existing structure to the
The
sewer?
existing structure is connected to the sanitary district right now.
Okay.
So really the difference in R1 is unsewered, R2 sewered.
Mhm.
So in that regard, it trues up the usage with the
Makes it-
zoning.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Has there been any agricultural use of this property? In viewing it, it doesn't appear in
I mean,
recent
it's-
past.
At some point, I would assume there was, but not in many years. It's also a very small parcel, so it's non-conforming, and I don't think anyone's farmed it in quite some time.
It looks that way.
Yeah,
Okay. And would exits from this property go out to L?
correct.
Okay. Any impact on the new road on South Shore?
No.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Quick discussion amongst commissioners. My only somewhat apprehension is taking away ag, A2, but it's non-conforming A2. It's not farmed agricultural land right now. So I just thought I'd bring that up as a note. Not that I'm like, absolutely not, we are losing. And it's not prime agriculture. It's A2, which is 35 acres minimum. So obviously non-conforming A2.
If we're discussing now, I looked up the 2020 comprehensive land use plan for the county calls for urban density residential under an acre. So, I mean, what's proposed fits the long-term land use. Another point.
Yep, go ahead.
One minor concern I have is this, like, for the larger lot where you have the wetlands, there's not much room. Well, I think there is enough room for a driveway, but it's right on the corner of that lot. So it would, and I don't know what the rules on, the county enforces all this anyhow, on driveway, where a driveway comes in as far as,
Sure.
Adjacency to another lot, but it looks a little tight to me. That's the only thing I can see.
Agreed. Not that we're here to give them civil engineering advice, but understood,
Yeah.
because they're not going to run their driveway through C4 lane.
Right.
So, any other discussion amongst commissioners? All right, at this point, I would open up to the audience. Would anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of the proposal? Would anybody like to speak against the proposal? All right, absolutely. Come on up. If you could just state your name and address for the record, please.
Bob Rice, W884 Shorewood Drive. I'm in favor of the proposal and the rezone. My only concern is rezoning into 3 lots. Could that ever be further subdivided if they built on one and the other 2? Because R2 is Seward, and I understand that that's what they're asking for the rezone. My concern would be that if someone bought the other 2 lots, that they could further develop those into smaller parcels.
If they did, they'd have to come back to us.
Okay.
I guess is all I would say. And I'm only one of 7 commissioners, but there's no chance in hell that there's going to be smaller lots than this in this area.
I'm in favor for the 3 lots.
Thanks. Absolutely. Come on up. Again, state your name and address, please, for the record.
Yeah, Bob Janis from W868 Shore Drive. Just a question. I don't think anybody on Shore Drive knows where these homes are going to be built. What is being rezoned? We haven't seen a map. I imagine you have.
We have.
Yeah.
So
Will that be available to the public at some time? Because that will have a bearing on whether or not,
it's
personally, am I in
available right
favor
now.
or against, based on what the map will show.
It has been on the website for 2 weeks. The packet's been available. So unfortunately, aside from having it on the packet on the website,
Okay.
there's really no other way to make it available. But the entire blueprint has been my version.
Okay.
And if however you want to see it, you're just not tech savvy, pop up to my office. I'll pull it up for you.
I mean, I can look at it. I mean, if, with all the mail that I've been receiving from the town, if that was mentioned in there, that it was there, I wouldn't be up here today asking
Sorry,
for
I
it.
thought it was, but I'm happy to show you anytime and it's on there. if you have
I'll
any
find it. I'm not illiterate on the web, so I'll.
So I'm happy to do another.
So the small-
Thank you very
The
much.
smallest R2 lot is just over an acre. The middle one is 1.5. The largest one is 4.4 acres, but it's got maybe about half of that is wetland.
Yeah. I'd
And
just
they're
like to
asking
know
for it to be wetland.
where
Sure.
it is on that parcel. I mean, what,
And honestly, I don't know that they know where the house would go, because if they sold the lot, they could put it in the back of the lot, in the front of the lot, in the middle.
sure,
You'd have to-
I understand
It would
that.
have to conform with all the.
Correct. It would have to
Where
conform
does
with
it
the
start
setbacks.
and where does it end? Maybe I should be asking, and that's what I'll look at on the map.
Sure.
Because I know there's an existing dwelling, loosely put, dwelling on the land now. Does it start at that lot line and go west, or does it? I have no idea. Didn't want to assume anything.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anybody else in the audience like to speak on this proposal? Okay. I guess the couple things that I'll add again is the fact that they're delineating the C4 that wasn't C4 before is encouraging to me. They're not trying to get there and plow it over and get rid of the wetland. They got a wetland delineation. It's going to be C4. It'll never be, have anything on it. So some positive things that encourage me on this one. So I don't know if there's any other discussion, if anybody feels we could act on this tonight, or if we should do any further research.
I think we could act on it.
Go ahead.
Okay. I propose that we accept the rezone of CSM parcel number PET 1400007B as requested by the owners with the wetlands delineated, and R1 is now R2.
As proposed, sure. There is a motion to accept. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a Lot 9 adjustment that has been tabled until the next meeting, so I just thought I'd bring that up. We're going to move on to the amendment to the conditional use at N8725 Army Lake Road, parcel PA 348300001, Salvation Army Camp, Keeney Architects.
John Wallenkamp, CUNY Architects. What's in front of you is a prior submission that the Salvation Army did a year or two ago, which is part of a larger master plan. They've not recently, but during COVID have changed operations, so they pulled away from that master plan. And the only piece that they're looking at having you guys re-review is the pavilion piece that they plan on constructing. One question I do have for clarification, you mentioned that this is an informational meeting, and then this goes to another meeting potentially if it
Correct.
is not, okay,
So all we work is this is our informational meeting.
yeah,
Then potentially we would just adjourn for 2 weeks. Come
okay,
back in 2 weeks, make our decision, and then it would have to go to the town board because we are just advisory to the town board. And the next town board meeting is when, Jen? The 13th.
okay. So I think that still goes in
Of
conjunction.
November.
Of November.
So if we don't pass tonight, you would not be probably on the till the December town board meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, like I said, this was our understanding in the prior approval. And really here for any questions you may have on
Sure.
the facility and the layout.
Sure. Obviously, you guys have been in front of us before. I'm honestly kind of surprised it was in front of us, really. So, right. Because we don't have, we've got the layout of the land. I know there's different parcels here. It's all one conditional use, or it's not one parcel, because when we get around the corner by where the corn maze was, that's a different parcel, right?
I honestly don't know the
Okay.
breakup of the parcels. The corn maze, you're correct. This is towards the road from the corn maze.
Mhm.
That larger section is its own piece that I understand. But when we talked to the county too, they were looking at that, even the conditional use is one piece, not multiple parcels.
And so, compared to the last conditional use that we approved, what's changed? You're adding this building?
No, they're taking away, the last conditional use that was approved had a lot of other elements in addition to this pavilion. This pavilion was always on there in this spot. But there was other ball fields or other concessions, there was other buildings and other related functions that they are no longer gonna do.
Okay.
The reason we're back here is more of a lapse in time, from what I understand. The county was also gonna take on what was already, but they said, you know what, 2 years has gone on, there's new committees, new boards, new members, let's make sure everybody takes a look at it.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant?
Well, okay, just along the lines of the context and the history here. So the conditional use is for this pavilion.
So no, the conditional use is for the whole property.
And did that get approved
Yes.
Yeah,
all the way through the county?
it
Oh.
got pulled so it got recommended by the town, went to the county, and then the Salvation Army pulled the application from the,
So, but even farther back, they've had a conditional use
Oh.
for
Existing for sure.
many years. The last time you were here to update it 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
3? Maybe before COVID, maybe 5, I don't know, I'm old.
I'm speaking wrong. The conditional use is in place. This is an amendment
Right.
to the current conditional use.
So he's made a bunch of
Yes,
iterations?
yes.
Okay, so what I think I know what the answer is, but I just want to
Yeah.
clarify. So you went to the county with this, a ball field, some other things. And then it was approved here a couple of years ago, went to the county, was pulled. Now we're back here and it's just the pavilion.
That's correct.
Okay, so we're whatever conditional use was on the books prior to that last go around, that's still on the books. This is the amendment to what's on the books is the pavilion.
That's correct.
Much less than the last time we approved it. I guess I didn't know if it went through the county, it didn't go through the county, I lose track of it after it leaves
Yeah.
East Troy, but, so,
Yeah.
other questions? Or
Oh, sorry.
did you
I
have
was
something to say?
just ask is, so essentially this is superseding the previous one?
So the previous one, again, obviously because we're advisory to the Walworth
Yeah,
County,
I'm just curious.
that one apparently never went through,
Uh-huh.
the one,
Okay.
so I mean, I don't, the most recent one may be 10 years old?
What's a pavilion? Now that they're doing the pavilion and you see the details in front of you, it's, to me, I don't know why it fits and how it fits. It's just that both agencies are, you know what, it's best to get it in front of you to see. It was never architecture as you're seeing it today
Sure.
in that conditional use. It was that,
Correct.
Here's-
It was a master plan.
it was a master, yes, sir.
How's the pavilion, like what type of events are you going to have there, where you're going to be using the pavilion?
Yep. It's the current events that go on there today. Play in the soccer field, outdoor activities. It just gives them a shelter area to go if it rains or to have lunch. There's no change in activities or use on the grounds. This is essentially just giving them an area to get outside the elements if need be and or lunch, things like that.
And I know the capacity of the grounds is based on sleeping and bathrooms, so.
There's nothing comparable to this on the property at this time.
No.
Was it originally 3,500 or square feet? I mean,
Yeah, the footprint is almost identical. Yep.
okay, all right.
We weren't part of the original, but we were given, this is the square we need to be in and
Sure.
Okay. Just make sure.
Other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Any other discussion amongst commissioners or before I open it up to the
It
audience?
sounds like due diligence to me. And just updating us, showing us a better, accurate plan, which I know the county's doing.
Sure. And again, I don't have their master plan committed to memory by any means, but I don't see any reason why he would lie to us and say it's big or it's small. Now, it's certainly not, 25,000 square feet. It's not the Fiserv Forum going up there and say, oh yeah, that was always in our conditional use. So it doesn't seem overreaching to me. So, other questions amongst commissioners?
Height. I was trying to ascertain not what its height is, but the limit that would be allowed.
What's the zoning? It's P1.
One, yeah.
So whatever the height is in for P1. As far as the limitation, it's
45 feet. 45.
I thought it was like 39, yeah.
P1 is 45 feet.
is max.
Yep.
Yes, maximum height 45 feet. I mean, it's what, a 612 roof or something like that?
Yeah, I think we're under 20 feet for the total. The
Sure.
maximum height.
Thank you.
Need more dimensions on your elevation. Other discussion amongst commissioners? All right, I'd open it up to the audience at this point. Would anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of the proposal? Would anybody like to speak against the proposal? Yeah, again, if somebody feels that we can act on this tonight, I wouldn't disagree.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment of the conditional use as outlined by the applicant.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that date for the town meeting?
November 13th.
November 3rd, because that's in line with the November 16th.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yep, you'll be able to make it
Yeah,
then.
we'll communicate to the county.
And that's what they told us, yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is any other public comment? Other business amongst commissioners?
I have a concern. Okay. To me, what do we do with all of this when we're done with it? I mean, this is so much information. Are we shredding it? Are we disposing it? Are we burning it? What do we, I just feel in this day and age of, theft and ideas and whatever.
So the only thing I would say is it's all public record. There's no social security numbers on here. It's on the website. If anybody found this laying in the gutter, they could have just as easily found it on the website.
So none of this, okay, so I can just throw it in.
So I don't think there's launch codes on here that we need to be super concerned about or anything.
On that note, I'm gonna start sending information in your bag. There's 2 for each person, so every meeting you can just throw everyone at me and we can start over. So that's gonna save some money on envelopes.
Okay,
Cause that was getting crazy.
so I.
Used to get mailed out.
Yeah.
Now you got the DPW at your disposal.
Yeah,
I know,
right.
poor Dave. I have Dave's delivered too, though. There's no special treatment.
You can't deliver your own, Dave?
No.
No special treatment.
Okay,
Yes, but-
Other business.
Yes.
So I took a look, so Jen sent out like the guidelines for applicants when they're filling out an application for conditional use or variance or rezone. And there's some language as to, some guidance to the applicant, but the actual form is really pretty bare bones. It's tax key, give us a description, check a box if you're looking for conditional use, variance or rezone. A lot of times the applications come in and it reads, well, Darren County said I needed a variance, and so I'm asking for X or Y and Z, right? And there's, I think, just about every month, every other month, we have an application that just doesn't quite come up to snuff. It's not complete.
That's the first thing I do. I'm like, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
So I looked, the UW system produces a plan commission handbook, and then they have all sorts of forms on the UW site, decision-making forms, application forms and things. Some of it's geared more for the county level, some of it's for the town level. And I don't know if this is a problem we want to try to solve or not. I'm just throwing this out there. But what I thought was kind of interesting, and I'll give a link to the site and the handbook to Jen to circulate if you like. It's like 300 pages. I didn't want to print it and bring it here. But where did I have it now? If I can get through to my papers, I think, yeah, okay. So there was, I forget if this was for a variance or a conditional use, but just for example, like there's kind of a checklist that in this template that's asked of applicants. So to me, it reads more like a conditional use for a business, but hours of operation, number of employees, some detail around proposed increase in percentage of impervious surface, adverse effect to public health. Then they ask questions, will your proposal create harmful or nuisance effects, including noise, dust, smoke, odor? Stuff we tend to cover. But I think, to me, it might help if we have, instead of a one-page application, it's kind of like we have a set of questions we might ask if it's a rezone, a set of questions we might ask if it's a variance, and a set of questions we might ask if it's conditional use. Really to help frame the request for the applicant, so that then that might trigger, and that might cause the applicant to think about some of those things and add some relevant detail to the proposal. So if I'm seeing some heads nod,
Agreed. Yeah.
I wonder if we might, so what I thought we could do is if I send a link to Jen to circulate, if we could each take a look at some of the relevant bits in the handbook and things, and then just have more discussion on it.
Sure. Those ones you brought up are definitely conditional use oriented, yeah. But I guess if I'm a layperson and I want to change the zoning, we know we need a survey. We need existing zoning versus proposed zoning, lot sizes, even the one on St. Peter's Road, they had the zoning from the village on there. You know. And there'll probably still be some of those growing pains, like, hey, what you've given us isn't enough, but that's maybe not a bad idea to give a little bit more guidance. Like, if nothing else, that's simple. If it's a rezone, we need existing zoning versus proposed zoning.
I agree, it's something we should look at.
I think it'll make it easier for the person coming.
And I don't think it needs to be 300 pages,
No.
One page for, like you said,
200 is fine.
a page for variance, a page for conditional use, a page for rezone.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Sure.
Okay. I'll get some details over to Jen on that. We can review. and
Great.
talk about it.
Those are exactly the questions the board winds up asking at the town board meeting when they vote. So if Jen can capture that meeting activity and then transfer that interpretation to the board, it would sail through a lot easier.
Sure.
Okay. And then out there, what I noticed too, there's a lot of sometimes we've had some discussion on public hearings, how to conduct meetings, and all that. There's details in the handbook too that covers all this. There's templates to follow. We're pretty close to what a lot of these how these templates read. Some of the templates they provide is you'd have an agenda. You break out the meeting where first you cover all of your conditional uses, then you cover all your variances, then you cover all of your rezones. We're not getting enough to warrant that, but it's all detailed out. There's just a lot of information on the site and guidelines too. So there's the 300-page document, and then there's the summary, view of it too.
Sure.
Okay.
Ben, with that link, would you mind highlighting the few that you've just highlighted?
Yep. I'll do that. There's a lot out there, but yeah.
Or if you just want to scan me that separate, and I can.
Sure.
You know what I mean then.
I'll try to write it up in a way to help facilitate
Fine.
discussion.
Sure. Great. Appreciate it.
Very good, thank you.
You did bring up also if we could get, some guidance on sewered versus unsewered from the sewage district. I did reach out to, thank you. I didn't want to say the short guy, but I was going there.
You just did.
You just did.
I did.
Chuck, yep.
I reached out to Chuck and we weren't able to hook it up, but that has I've not forgot about it.
So on that note, I did in the Plan Commission handbook, it does cover things like that.
Okay.
Things like sewerage capacity for a district, for a community, that does fall under a Plan Commission purview. Those are things that, per the handbook, those are things that we should be thinking about and considering when we make decisions.
Sure.
So if someone comes in, they want to develop 200 acres and add all sorts of sewered homes, there's tremendous impact to the community.
Of course.
Then the public good comes into effect.
Sure.
Into the discussion.
Sure. Okay. Any other discussion amongst commissioners? I would take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.